walking unapologetically in purpose, for purpose, on purpose. If that sounds like something you're interested in, hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications, like, comment, subscribe, share, and make sure that you are aware every time we come on and that you are a part of our amazing community. And I just want to welcome every person who may be new here, the people who have been watching for a while. Hey girl, how are you? Hope your day is well. I'm moving a lot, y'all, because I'm trying my best to hold this phone. As y'all know, one of my wrists are not in the best condition yet, and so I'm trying to do my best to hold the phone to record this video, y'all. And so I just want to come on really quickly, since we are documenting basically daily almost what this process that the Lord has me on. I really don't know what process it is, don't really know what the outcome is going to be. I am just here trying to be obedient to what I believe that the Lord told me to do. And so here I am with another video on Revelation that I got today. If you watched the first, I think 4 videos, this might be 5. I've just kind of been documenting like every day what the Lord reveals to me about my heart, about my mindset, about idols, about my relationships. And so just to recap, the first thing was me just normalizing pain, working through pain, not really caring for myself enough to stop and make sure that I attend to my wounds, attend to the need of being healing, address the pain that I'm having, whether that's physically, emotionally, and mentally, maybe even spiritually, okay? That I'll just continue to move forward. I'll kind of sweep it under the rug and just totally ignore it and just keep going. And if you do that, like I've been doing, what you end up doing is just bleeding on everybody, because you're not healed. You still have a wound that is oozing, and that can come off in some of your behaviors, the way you are treat people. Maybe you're snappy, maybe you're irritable, maybe you are super needy, maybe you feel like you have to feel needed. It's all kind of ways that the fruit of that can manifest. And so it's just not good to do that, because the time in and of itself will not heal it, right? You have to be intentional to address it. Just like if you get physically wounded, right? Like if I was to cut myself, if I'm bleeding, I can't just ignore it, because then I'm literally going to get blood on everything. Like I'm going to get blood on my clothes. I'm going to get blood on my furniture. I'm going to get blood on with everything that I touch, really, until I tend to that wound, until I begin to nurse it, till I cover it up, do what's necessary so it can heal, right? It's the same way. And that's not something I had been doing. Number 2 was the Lord said that I love money. And the truth is I do. In a sense that I put money above most everything. I put money above me, being present at home with my children. I put money above the Lord. I'm always compromising, saying yes when I should say no, working, going in on my off day, even if it's just for one client real quick. I'm always just kind of like thinking about money. Like I don't meditate on the word like I should. I'm not, keeping my eyes on Christ, thinking of things that are holy, pure, and praiseworthy, things that are noble, things that are above, like the word tell us to do. Meditating on the word day and night. I don't think about God. Mostly I think about how can I pay these bills, how many clients I need this week to meet the needs, whatever goals that I have financially, whatever ways that I'm looking to expand my business, and financially, what does that look like when I don't have enough clients on my books, when I look at my book for the week and I'm stressed, I'm in anxiety, I'm worried, I'm just going to the Lord begging and pleading like, hey, please send me some clients, or I got these bills, I got these things. And instead of just being in faith, like, Lord, well, this is your business, this is your gift you gave me, I'm just stewarding it. The things that I need. Your word says you already know what I need before I ask. And so, Father, I'm just confident that you're going to provide what I need for this week, financially, to take care of the obligations and the family that you've blessed me with. I don't have that posture. My wrist, guys, I'm sorry. I don't have that posture. I'm more of a, Lord, I want you to bless me with more clients so I can go work and make the money so I can, it's all about me, right? Hence pride. Pride is another thing that the Lord, nicely allowed me to really see that I'm dealing with, just a lot of pride is me. Very self-reliant, very independent, which goes into the next one that the Lord told me that I don't really want to be married. I like the idea of marriage, but I want to be married but remain single. And of course, when I processed that a little bit, I was like, oh, you know what? That's true. So what do I mean by that? A lot of women who are very independent, very strong, maybe you were, again, raised by a strong mother. Maybe you were told by the women in your family, like, you can't trust a man. You always got to have your secret account. You always got to have your own. You can't depend on no man. And so you just kind of, develop this mindset, like, I want to remain independent. Like, I want to kind of remain what it is to be single, right? In my singleness, I'm independent. In my singleness, I take care of myself. In my singleness, I depend on myself. In my singleness, I take care of, my needs in my singleness. So it's like you want to be married, but you still want to maintain that sense of, independence away from your husband. I don't want to totally be vulnerable. I don't want to totally depend on him. I don't want to totally, rely on him to provide, right? I don't want to totally like follow him, you know what I mean? I have like my own, vision, that for my life and for my family. So the Lord, when the Bible says you have to submit unto your husbands as unto the Lord, the thing about it is I have a hard time submitting to the Lord. So I would have a hard time submitting to a man. So that was I think, fourth revelation. I think third or fourth. I don't know. Let's see. The first one was me walking in my woundedness. Second one was I love money. Third one was I want us to remain single. Okay, yeah. So the fourth one yesterday was that I am still very much operating from an insecure, ambivalent, fearful attachment style. That is the attachment style that I developed from infancy based on how my caretakers were engaging or not engaging with me. And that's how all of us develop our attachment style. And your attachment style shapes everything. It shapes your way that you show up in relationships across the board, right? It's just not isolated to one particular type of relationship. It's every relationship. It's how you view relationship, right? And it's how you behave, So again, some of the characteristics of the one that I have, being ambivalent and fearful, is being a people pleaser, being overly clingy and needy, because you don't know, if you fear, if you let go of that person, that you think that they're going to leave and they're not going to return, because again, you're like, you grew up in a situation where you didn't know if you was going to get love again, because you got love one day, the next day you probably got maybe a little bit of abandonment, rejection, or it may be anger or frustration. And so you kind of always was vacillating, and you really don't know what to expect. And so you're always on eggshells and pins and needles, and you're always trying to overcompensate because you're constantly trying to perform to try to win this person's love, right? So those are some of the characteristics. And again, there's 4 attachment styles depending on what you are looking at. That is, again, something that you have to Google, you have to research, look at some type of psychology journals or different information that's out there. It's typically psychologists that are writing about this, because this is psychological. But the main one that we all need to get to is secure. It's just secure, period. Like, you just need to have a secure attachment style. So you're okay. You know how to receive love. You know how to give love. You're not, you don't have a lot of trust issues. You're not overly suspicious and paranoid. You're not fearful. You can show up and be your whole self, right? You don't have to, it's just a whole lot, right? So you need to Google, you need to research, do it for yourself, so you can discover what attachment style you may have, and you can see what it is on how to begin to deal with that attachment style if it's not secure. Okay. So today, number 5, I think today I really haven't had time to sit with God like have been over these last few days when he's really been speaking to me, because today we had Sunday service, which was great and amazing. Then we had a fellowship afterwards, after church. Then after church, I hung out with some of my sisters in Christ, and we went to the mall, and I'm literally just getting home. But the thing that kind of really came to me today was how my attachment style is really beginning to affect my relationship with the Lord in particular. It's like, because I have an ambivalent attachment style, meaning I'm, kind of vacillating between two things, or you're just vacillating back and forth. I tend to be like that with the Lord. So when everything is good, or when I feel like he's answering my prayers, or I guess when I feel like I don't really need him as much, I mean, I'm gonna just be very transparent and honest. So when things are going well, I tend to be all like, God is good, I tend to be, reading my word, praying, just having like this good outlook, this good perception. I can have a lot more faith and confidence in the Lord and his mercy and his goodness and his faithfulness, and that he loves me and all this stuff. But then when when the winds and the waves get to knocking, and life get to knocking at the door, and you cry out to God, and you pray, and do all the spiritual things to do. And when it doesn't seem like he responds, when it seems like he's silent, when it seems like he's nowhere around, right? Nowhere to be found, then it's like, now I'm like, I don't know what I believe. I don't know if God is really faithful. I don't know if I believe that he'll never leave or forsake me, because I feel forsaken. I don't really trust him. So for me, because I don't really trust God, because I really have a problem with trusting, period. I don't know, my eye is itching, y'all. I hope ain't nothing in it. I'm sorry. Because I've always had to respond, or I always got into relationships, and had relationships where I was having to kind of always, vacillate or be fearful. I never felt secure or comfortable or confident or safe with anyone. So that tends to pour over to my relationship with God. So I don't really feel safe with God, especially because if you are anything like me, like, spiritual realm is real. Spiritual things are real. And when you know that by experience, and so when you've had attacks, when you get attacks at night, when you have things happen to you in your dreams, when you wake up and you have scratches on your body, and when you went to bed it wasn't no scratch, when you wake up and you feel like your body is like sore and in pain, like you've been in a fight, because you really, in your dream, like in the spirit realm, you've been being attacked, when things are suffocating you, when things are trying to choke you, when things are trying to pull you out the bed, when things are violating you sexually, I think it makes it a lot more difficult to understand, like, Lord, where are you? Like, how can you let this be? Especially when you are like, Lord, I'm doing the things that I need to do to make sure doors are closed. Like, I don't engage in perverted activity. I don't watch anything that is sexual and just inappropriate. I don't listen to things that are sexual and inappropriate. I don't, I just try very hard to guard my ear gates and eye gates. Like, I am abstinent. I've been abstinent for over 7 years. Like, I'm not even dating anyone. Like, I'm not having those kind of conversations. I'm not, like, I don't understand, like, how could this happen? Or even if it's just some kind of demonic attack, it's just like, Lord, why, how? Like, when you've renounced and you denounced and you've repented and you smashed altars, you broken generational curses, you fasted and prayed, you interceded, you feel like you just exhausted every spiritual tool that to use and do, and things do not change. Like, you still feel like there's a level of deliverance and a level of, peace that you just have not been able to attain, like, no matter what. And even if you have periods of time where it doesn't happen, eventually it does. And it's just a reminder of, like, Lord, where are you? Like, how are you letting this happen? Like, why do these entities get to do this to me? Why do no matter how hard I try, no matter how much I try to align with your word and live according to your word, it's like things still happen to me. Whether it's spiritually at night, whether it's things trying to mess with your purpose, your destiny, that stuff is real. You know what I'm saying? You have people, that is their intent. It's not always demonic spirits. Yes, it can be that. It could be familiar spirits. It could be, some kind of ancestral spirit. It can be, any kind of spirit, right? That will try to, attack you, to torment you, to try to put fear in you, to try to discourage you, right? Or sometimes it's people who are involved in demonic things like witchcraft, like people astral projecting into your home, like while you're asleep, they're in your home, they're planting things, they're planting demonic seeds, they're monitoring, they're getting access, they're getting information, they're speaking into your dreams, they're entering into your dreams, they're influencing your dreams, they're stealing, your spiritual like your spiritual substances, and all these things, and creating and sowing confusion and strife and turmoil in your home, and all these things. They're trying to dry up your finances, to steal your finances, your blessings. And it's like, Lord, how is this possible? You see what these people are doing. Why is it that their own wickedness do not make you rise up and defend and avenge and fight for me and bring, whatever judgment or whatever consequence on them based on their own sin? Like a lot of times in the Bible, when Israel was commanded to go fight against a particular enemy, and God assured them that he was going to fight for them and with them, and they would, come out victorious. Most of that was because the enemy had their own sin. It was their own wickedness. It wasn't just because these people didn't like Israel. It was because these people were wicked in and of themselves. They had their own sin, right? And as a result of their own sin, the consequence was the Lord used Israel as judgment. And this vice versa, right? When Israel fell into sin, see, God is just. God is fair. When Israel fell into sin, he used their enemies. He used Assyria. He used Babylon, right? As judgment against Israel, and allowed them to be overtaken, allowed them to be sieged, allowed them to be taken into exile, right? Allowed their things to be, taken and stuff like that, because he's just and he's righteous and he's fair. So my mindset is, Lord, well, how come it's that you're not coming against these people who are doing these things? And I know it's people because I'm very discerning, and a lot of times because they are manipulating the spirit realm, or they're using the spirit realm. If you're a dreamer or if you're discerning, you will see it. Like, you will see them, like the spirit realm, because they can't always hide themselves. They can hide themselves in the natural, why they, by astral projecting, or, making themselves invisible and things like that. And yes, a high ranking witch can do that. But in the spirit realm, a lot of times you might see the person, or they might disguise themselves as someone else, but maybe the characteristic of the person will give you an idea, and stuff like that, so you definitely have to pay attention to your dreams and stuff, and you have to go back to the Lord and seek confirmation and interpretation. But nevertheless, it's not always evil spirits. Sometimes it's people coming against you. Sometimes it's people who don't like you. Sometimes it's people who just envious, jealous. They just want whatever you have for whatever reason, instead of them being satisfied with whatever their life is, or whatever they have, or whoever they are, or whatever their gift is, or whatever it is. They're just wanting what you have, and so they want to come against you, to steal from you, and they do that when you're most vulnerable, and that a lot of times is at night while you're sleeping. And sometimes that's my experience. I deal with that, and it's frustrating. Especially if you do like what you're supposed to do. You pray before you go to sleep. You anoint your house. You play worship music while you're sleeping. You play the word. You decree the word over the house. You plead the blood of Jesus. Like, you do all the things to do. Like, you walk through the house. You praying. You're covering. You're just enforcing a hedge of protection, and you still get an attack. It's like, Lord, this math don't math. I'm not very, 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 familiar with spiritual math. But I'm just saying some of these numbers, I mean, this math ain't math, and I don't understand. Like this is what I'm supposed to do to make sure that I'm covering my home, that I'm protecting my home. But why did it not work? Or why do it seem like it didn't work? Because the attack still came. So it's all these things, right? Why did I still have to go through the hard season for so long? Like, I get we all have seasons where we deal with storms, right? It just comes with life. But sometimes it's like the season of being in a storm is extended. And sometimes it feels like the season of being in the fire is extended. The season of wilderness is extended. It's like, Lord, it's all these people around me. Everybody seems like they're increasing, but I feel like I'm decreasing. I don't understand this, And so because and particularly in those moments, I begin to feel rejected and I feel abandoned, which then it begins to fuel my feeling unsafe. So because I feel unsafe, then I draw back. I draw back from God because now I'm like, just like with some of my natural relationships, I don't feel safe because a person has shown me that I can't be safe with them. I can't be vulnerable with them. Like, I'm not, I can't trust them, to a certain extent. So I began to put distance or put up a wall between myself and that person in order to protect myself. And I do the same thing with God because I really don't know how to attach to anybody relationally in a secure way because I never had a secure attachment style. So that's A, but B is because I have an insecure attachment style, it keeps me from truly being able to be surrender everything to him. Because if I surrender everything to God, that means I trust him. So if I don't do that, then I don't have to worry. Like, there are just parts of my life that I hold back from the Lord, even subconsciously, because I'm like, okay, I'll give you this, I'll give you that, and I'll even give you that. But this one, I'm going to keep this one because if I give you this one and, you don't show up or you don't come through or, you don't answer, I don't want to feel that. I don't want to feel that disappointment. I don't want to feel that hurt. So I'll just hold that back from you because I really know that I can't feel safe with you anyway. So it's just affecting my ability to really connect with him and to really receive him as Father. Because I don't even know how to receive a father because my father is just not in the picture. He's just not present. And so because of these experiences, it is creating somewhat of a obstacle, if you will, with my ability to really have a real relationship with God, like a genuine one. Because when you have a real relationship with somebody, you can go through some storms. You can go through some hard seasons, but you remain, right? It doesn't cause you to question their love for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, me and my sons have been through some hard seasons. Some really, really, really hard seasons. But in my heart and my mind, I'm like, I know that my sons shouldn't or couldn't question my love for them. That our circumstances did not dictate my love. Our circumstances were our circumstances. And that should be the way that we, view God. Like, even when we are going through difficulty or we're dealing with warfare or attacks or, wilderness seasons or loss or whatever it may be, that we still view God as a father that loves us, right? And that our circumstances is not a dictator of his love for us, right? Sometimes circumstances are just a result of our own actions or sin, or it's just because we live in this fallen world and it's just things are going to happen. But it shouldn't in no way begin to shape and frame the way that we perceive God's love for us. But for me, it does. So I begin to question when God doesn't, excuse me, protect me in the way that I feel like I need to be protected. When God doesn't, come through for me and deliver me out of something, and I got to stay in it for a long period of time or work through it. When I feel like God allows me to be taken advantage of and walked over and, I'm mistreated. And it's just like, if you love me, why would you allow me to go through that? Why would you allow these people to do this to me? So it's like when circumstances change, my perception of how I view God and his love for me changes. But when it's all good, it's all good. Okay. Then it's all good. He is, a mighty God, a loving God, a faithful God, a wonderful God, a holy God, a righteous God, a worthy God, a marvelous God, a awe-inspiring God. I can just worship, I can praise, I can give glory, I can, and mean it. And mean it, testify of his goodness and mean it. And mean it. And but when things go awry and all heck breaks loose and I looked for safety, I don't believe that I can find that in God because, again, some of the things that I've named already. So I think that's the thing that I kind of am focusing on today, is how this revelation and understanding of the fact that I just don't have that secure attachment style is like, okay, how do I get out of having this insecure, ambivalent, fearful attachment style? How do I get out of having this love for money? How do I get out of, ignoring the pain, right? How do I get out of, not wanting to submit, feeling afraid, like feeling like I can't feel secure and safe and comfortable in my husband or in the Lord, right? How do I begin to turn these areas of my life around to bring them to a healthy place? So, y'all, I know it's getting deep over here. I don't know what to say. This is what it is. I'm just recording. I'm just being honest, open, transparent. This is raw. It's not edited. It's not cut. It's not, pre-planned. It's not rehearsed. This is what it is. This is where I am. It's December 21st, 2025. And I am just here still trying to navigate this, trying to figure it out, trying to get understanding, trying to, understand and figure out what is my steps, what is the first step to get into a healthy place. What does that look like? What am I supposed to do? And so, yeah, that's where I'm at, y'all. Day 5. 5 is grace. Day 5. Day 5. Day 5. Y'all, I still got this dry spot and I don't know what the heck. I've never had that before in my life. Anyway, I got distracted. But yes, so again, if you feel like this is resonating with you, please take it back to the Lord. Ask him to show you, to show you your own heart, to reveal to you the areas in your own soul, your own habits and your own behaviors and relationship styles and all the things, so he can begin to speak to you personally and then give you a solution, give you a strategy on how to come out on the other side. Because that's really the goal and that's really the purpose, right? Not to just talk about it and create content, but to truly have a testimony of how the Lord brought you through that and helped you to heal to get to the other side. So I just want to say that thank you for watching this video. I hope it really is helping someone out there. And you're not alone. You're not the only one going through this. If you are, know that your past does not define you. It develops you. And you are worthy.